Everybody wants to make money day trading, but nobody knows where to start. So that's exactly why in this video, I'm going to be breaking down step by step how to start day trading the correct way. No fluff, no hype, just the right steps to take to help you understand how to start day trading. So let's get into it. First, you need to understand what day trading actually means. Number one, it's not gambling, it's not guessing. Day trading is about executing short-term trades in the market, buying and selling within the same day. And this can be based off of market structure, price action, strategies, risk management. But if you guess and if you gamble, you will lose. If you treat day trading like a business, you will learn. Step number two, you want to define the market that you're going to be trading. You can trade anything when it comes to day trading. You can trade currency pairs, you can trade gold, you can trade crypto, whatever fits your style, but you don't need to try to trade everything at once. So it's good to maybe master one or two things at first. That could be a currency pair like Euro USD or USD Japan or Bitcoin, for example. You want to master one thing first and then start to expand yourself when it comes down to day trading. Number three, you're gonna need to learn a strategy. You can't wake up, open the charts, and hope for a setup. You need a system, something that gives you structure. So focus on learning these key topics: market structure, liquidity, entries and exits, risk management, supply and demand, support and resistance. Don't focus on chasing signals or chasing price moves. Learn to understand why price moves and what exactly you are waiting for. One place you can start when it comes down to wanting to learn basic strategies is indicators. On TradingView, there's a full indicators section. This is where you can start to learn the indicators like the RSI, the moving average, the MACD, or the stochastic. These are some very common named indicators that I would start looking into to start learning why the market moves with momentum or volume and how these tools and indicators work, because these different tools and indicators can help you read the market as well. Next, you're gonna wanna learn how to build a routine. Day trading is all about consistency. You don't need to trade every day, but you need to trade when the market gives you the right setups. Have a daily routine, pre-market analysis, session timing, and even journaling. You'll be shocked at how much more clarity this stuff can give you. Focus on Forex market hours for session timing. Don't just trade at any random time of the day. Define which time of the day you're gonna be trading at or which sessions you're going to mainly be focusing on. So gold's very beneficial for me because it moves a lot in every session. I pretty much show up to New York session and see if there's setups, or I'll show up to Tokyo session and see if there's setups, or I'll show up to London session and see if there are any trade setups. So I wanna build a routine around these times and be consistent. Like a job, for instance. Those of you guys who have a job, a career, a 9 to 5, you go to work every day at the same time. You have the same daily routine. You have the same pre-work routine. You have the same after-work routine. You have the same routine while you're at work. Same times, every day, same pattern. Consistency is what matters when it comes down to building a routine around the market. So when it comes down to building your routine, maybe even around these times, you want to know what pairs you're also focusing on around these times and which pairs move the most in these hours. New York session opens up at 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern time. Mostly, that's where you're going to see a lot of the US dollar market moving. Stocks, gold, indices, or even currency pairs that have the USD inside of it, like USD CAD, Euro USD, GBP USD, USD Japan. London session is really good for GBP pairs or Euro pairs like GBP USD, GBP Japan, Euro USD, or Euro GBP, Euro Japan, pairs that have the Euro or even the GBP inside of them. Tokyo session, that's where you're going to see a lot of the Japanese yen pairs move, or NZD pairs even move, or AUD pairs in that Sydney Tokyo session. So depending on which pair you're mainly focusing on, it may be more convenient to watch that pair at a certain session rather than another session. For instance, USD CAD, that's gonna be a good pair to focus on New York session rather than Sydney session, which is the Australian session, or Tokyo session, right? Because it has the USD CAD involved. That pair is mainly going to be active in New York hours. This is one thing you want to understand about the markets. Here we have a chart on gold, and we can see there are different sessions. There's Tokyo session, there's London session, there's the New York session. These different times matter because these are different times that volume can come into the market. So you want to learn how the pair that you like the most, or the pair that you're really good with the most, moves in these sessions, because you don't need every session. Maybe one session is where you see the best moves in. For instance, with me, gold, my two favorite times are late Tokyo session and New York session. Those are the two times that I like gold the most. If I was trading Euro USD, I would maybe just find one specific time that I like Euro USD at, where I see its movements more often than I don't. Master a few pairs. Don't try to master 10 pairs at once. Focus on one or two. Learn when they move. Build a routine around the times that they move the best, and focus on a strategy with those movements. That could be market structure, support and resistance, supply and demand. It could also be an indicator strategy, like I was saying, moving averages, stochastic, RSI. These are all indicators and tools that can help us find setups around the market or analyze the market to give us a better understanding of what the market is doing. So if you look at the chart here, and in the top left corner, you can see I'm typing in Euro USD. So now I have the Euro USD on the chart. If you look at Euro USD, for example, see how in Tokyo session, it has some consolidation here, but then when it goes into London session, you really see it moving. So Euro USD, being that it's the euro and the US dollar, it doesn't often move that much in the Tokyo hours. You can see a prime example here where we're getting consolidation. So this is a sideways market. And this is where we go into a little bit about strategy, how the markets can actually move. The markets can consolidate. That's usually when the market's in a range, when it's sideways. There's not as much volume, not as much action happening on. We call this a rectangle phase or a rectangular pattern sideways, aka consolidation. This is again when it looks like this, when price may be inside two areas. We can identify this as a range between a resistance and a support. Typically the market will break out. It'll choose one side of the range to break out of. Once it's broken out of that range, that's when breakout traders will trade in that direction. Now me, myself, I'm not so much of a breakout trader, but breakout traders will try to catch these moves out of the consolidation. I'm more of someone, in terms of strategy, who looks for a retest out of my breakout range. And this will be a strategy that's called a break and a retest. A very, very common strategy that I even like to use on gold. For example, here's one of the last trades that I caught on gold using this strategy and understanding market structure. Gold made a low here, it made a high here, and then it made what we call a higher low. And then here, gold makes a higher high. At this point, it's broken out of a key resistance point on the chart, and I'm looking for what we call the retest. I'm not so much of a breakout trader. I will wait for the retest. And now let's look at which time this happened at. And you can see this was during the Tokyo hours. Tokyo is a good time for gold. If you're gonna trade gold, gold moves all times. Unlike currency pairs, some currency pairs can be slower at different times. Gold can actually have good movement at all times. So you can actually see here there was a nice breakout, retest. We have market structure here as well. Market structure looks something like this when we're talking about uptrends or downtrends. When the market is making lows and highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. At some point, the trend will bend and it will reverse itself. This is when everything shifts, and that usually happens when the market does something like this, when it makes a lower low in price. For example, if we're in an uptrend and we have a low that prints a higher high, but from there, the market fails and it prints a lower low, this is usually a shift in the trend, and the market structure will start trading in the other direction. So when it comes down to analyzing the charts, we're not always just jumping on the charts looking for trades. We're also looking for trends. What trend is the market currently in? Are we in an uptrend? Are we in a downtrend? Or are we getting ready to reverse, maybe consolidating in a sideways market? Kind of like how Euro USD was here when it was sideways here, and you can see how we ended up breaking out towards the upside. For example, here is gold moving in an uptrend, but you can see at some point the trend reverse. So the market goes from bullish to bearish. Here we have bullish, here we have bearish. So we could see two different phases here, where the market is one, bullish, where the market is two, bearish. Look at the phase that happens inside the middle here. Here we could see what's known as a reversal phase in the market. Notice how the price before this was gradually increasing, going up, but then you had a high, you had a low, you had a lower high here, and a lower low. This is where we're getting a reversal for a shift down. The same thing actually happens right here, where the market makes a low, it makes a high, and it makes a low, and it makes a higher high. This is another reversal happening, and you can see here we have a breakout and a retest. When a resistance level or a support level is turning into either a resistance or a support, right? In this case, we have a resistance level here turning into a support level. These are the types of setups I like to look at on gold, and this is one of the easiest day trading strategies to learn and try to look for. All it takes is patience, and that's where we're going to go into step number 5. The hardest part of trading isn't the charts. It's really your mind and learning how to be patient and wait for these things to set up and wait for the charts to give you these types of visuals and these types of patterns. So you have to learn how to detach from the money. Your job is to execute the plan, to wait for the strategy, to wait for the trade setup to present itself, to wait for the pattern. Like I said at the beginning of the video, everyone wants to learn how to day trade, make money in day trading, but we have to learn how to be profitable with day trading when it comes down to something called your win rate or risk to reward ratio. Everybody thinks you need to win 100% of the time, 90% of the time to be a profitable trader. The truth is, you could actually win 40, 50, 60% of your trades and still be a profitable trader. This is something called risk to reward. So if we have a risk to reward of 1-to-1, all we need to do is win 50% of our trades to be break even. If we have a 60% win ratio, we are now profitable. So at a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, all we need to do is win 60% of the time, and we're breaking profit margin. All right, 1-to-2, 40% of the time you win and you are in profit. 1-to-3, you can win 30% of your trades and you are in profit. What would that actually look like on the charts? So that's, for example, if I was taking a buy on gold right now and I was risking, let's say 60 points here and trying to catch 60 points. That right there is a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So if I was risking $10 in here and the market made this move, I would make $10. That is a risk to reward ratio of 1-to-1. It's one we're making what we risked on a trade. Now, there's very profitable traders. It might not look too attractive, right? But there's traders who are very profitable with this type of trading style and trading strategy because it doesn't take that much to catch a 1-to-1 trade. It's easier to catch a 1-to-1 trade, honestly, than it would be to catch a 1-to-3. That's where you're catching a move 3 times bigger than what you risk, right? You're risking $10 in here, but if the market makes this move, you're making $30 profit because you're risking 60 points, or AKA 60 pips here, a $6 move on gold, but you're catching about a $19 move, a little bit over here. You can see the difference, 6.4, 19.48. So multiply like 6.48 times 3 and you get, 19.4 here. That is your risk to reward ratio. Risk to reward is something very important to understand because the more trades that you take, the more you will see what risk to reward you are good at fitting. And some traders are really good at catching 1-to-5. Some traders are not. Some traders are just good at sticking in the 1-to-1, 1-to-2. Some traders are good at catching 1-to-3. You can't look at the market being like, I have to be a 1-to-5 trader. You might not be good at it. Just be honest with yourself. If you're not good at catching 1-to-5, stick to your 1-to-2s. Stick to your 1-to-1s. The problem a lot of traders have is they try to be like the next person they see online or the next demo trader or someone faking it. There's a lot of people online that show screenshots of 1-to-10 trades, 1-to-5 trades, 1-to-20 trades, but they're not actually catching it. So honestly, figure out what you're good at. Figure out what lane you're in. I'm pretty good at catching 1-to-2s. I don't really need to go for 1-to-3s because I've recognized I'm pretty good at just 1-to-2 lane, catching that move. I don't need to go for a bigger move. I don't need to worry about how tiny my stop loss is. I can give myself some breathing room on a trade and still catch a move. So it's going to take you some time to really master what your risk to reward ratio is. But this is just to show you, like, losing is a part of the game and losing is okay. You will lose trades, but you could still be profitable. For example, if I take 10 trades, right, and I have a 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio, okay? I'm taking 10 trades. I lose one. I lose one. I lose 1, I lose 1. So I lose 6 trades here, right? With a 1 to 2, I could lose 6 trades, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I could still make 4 trades in profit, and I would be in profit at this point because those 4 trades will outweigh the 6 trades. So here's some basic math for you guys on risk to reward, which is super, super important. The last little bonus tip I wanna give for you guys here today is start on a demo account. Start gaining some practice. Try to flip a demo account. Try to make some money on a demo account. You can start paper trading to learn the real market. Your goal isn't to make money at first. Your goal is to learn why you're looking for trades, what types of trades you're looking for, and learn a strategy, learn a system, and build a routine, which is gonna take time. It might take you 3 to 6 months to get over that first hurdle of learning a lot of these things, learning different terminology like we spoke about in this video. So that's how you start day trading step by step. If you guys want me to go a lot deeper on my personal daily routine, the things that I do on a weekly and daily basis every single day, drop a comment down below so we can take this video a step notch further. Make sure you guys subscribe so you guys can check out the next video. We are just getting started.